Hello everyone, and today I'm going to show you the build path that took me from noob to pro in Sailor Piece. So starting off, we have the katana. I used the katana up until around the 300s-ish in levels. It is honestly really good if you know how to kite the bosses. After the katana, I started to use a dark blade, which led me to my first 1000th level of the game. You can honestly still keep using dark blade a little bit longer, maybe up to 1500, even 2000 if you're patient enough, but you're going to want to use the next item on my list. Now we have my favorite item for grinding in the early game. I spent a lot of time with this weapon, and it is very useful for bosses up until maybe 200 million if you're patient enough or have good enough stats, but this item is low-key amazing for beginners. It has good damage, its cooldowns are okay, and it's just very easy to obtain. After getting Griffin, you can technically go after any early or mid-game spec or item, but here's what I chose. So I ended up going with Sukuna V2 as my luck with the V1 items was really bad. I also got really lucky as someone else was farming at the same time, so I ended up getting even more drops that led me to get Sukuna V2. I did also obtain Yuji at this time, but I found Yuji's damage to be slower than Griffin, so I kept using Griffin still. With Sukuna V2, I was able to kill any boss under 1 billion HP in a reasonable amount of time, but once I did get the F move, I could farm anything up until Madara. I spent the most time of the mid game with Sukuna V2 as my luck and item drops from bosses was not that good. I did also start farming for Sid V1 inside the dungeon game mode, and it also helped with my Ascension quest. Unfortunately though, the Ascension quest did take a very long time to complete. Sukuna V2 carried me all the way into the late game, after which I started to go for Madara as at that time he was just released and was the strongest melee in the game. Unfortunately though, I did not obtain his F move as his grind and my luck with it was really bad. I did use Madara however to farm mobs as his C move was really good for farming and it was perfectly timed. Sukuna's move on the other hand, I found it to be a little bit off timing sometimes, which made the NPCs move, and Madara also did way more damage. Even though I had Madara, I still didn't end up using it right away because my Sukuna still did more damage with his F move unlocked. I spent way too much time trying to farm for Madara's F move that I ended up going for Saber Alter, which was way easier to obtain and also had a little bit more damage than Sukuna. Even though I got Salter and Madara, I still didn't end up using it yet because I believe without their F move, they didn't do as much damage as my Sukuna, at least in my testing. But using Sukuna V2 farming for Saber Alter, it was really easy as I had a lot of damage at the time and her HP wasn't even that high. After I finally obtained Salter's mastery, I started to use only her C move as that was the highest damaging and quickest damaging move at the time, as I also was farming with others and sometimes people do way more damage than me and I would only use the fastest ability that does the most damage at that time. Using Salter, I did have enough damage to start killing the Moonslayer boss in a very quick amount of time, so I ended up farming him until I maxed him out. Even though Moonslayer was my strongest melee at that time, I didn't actually quite like using it because of how slow his damage was and how long his cooldowns were, so I ended up going for Madara in full mastery instead, which was a choice I do not regret. I will however say that Moonslayer is really good for one-shotting a boss, but if you're farming in quick succession with like the auto spawn feature, it does not work as well. Using my maxed out Madara, I farmed for Atomic as I found Madara to be the best one, though I do admit his not back on his V and F move could be a little annoying, but the boss does respawn again or teleport back. And of course I had to max it out obtaining his F move, which was not too bad to obtain comparing it to the first one, as the first one was really bad to obtain. Looking back at it now, I don't think I need to do Shadow V1's questline as it wasn't probably needed to do Atomics, but I did have to do it for Ascension and I was like, why not? And the last thing that made me the most OP as I can be in Sailor Piece is obtaining Esdeath, the new strongest sword at this time. By the way, most of his grinding was done through pure RNG and luck, as no one else was kind enough to donate me anything. I would also like to mention that I did use Excalibur for a short portion of my time here in the game, but I did use Griffin more overall because Excalibur's abilities, especially the Z and C move, was a bit slower than Griffin, as Griffin was near instant. So this is the build path that I took that took me from level 1 with combat all the way to the max level with multiple powerful specs. With so many items and specs in the game, you can honestly use whatever you want to progress in the game. I just chose what I had available in my time playing the game, but I even saw a guy use Eisen V1 and skip straight to Atomic. So I'm curious, what was your journey in becoming the strongest? I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching.